Hey there, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah, this is Brown Family Goods. I have a few things that I want to accomplish and I thought we would start by having a little chat here. So I wanted to share with you today a meal prep day. So this is not a meal prep for a long period of time. It's actually going to be a meal prep for 1 week. So 2 meals, lunch and dinner for every day for the rest of this week. This meal prep is actually going to be for weight loss. So I'm going to prep the things for Alan and myself for the next 4 or 5 days. This is so weird to talk about on the internet, but I think that it is something worth sharing, and definitely if you're in the same boat as me, you can probably relate. So since January of this year, and even before, my weight has been on a trajectory of upwardness, and it is so, number one, so annoying. Number two, I feel so bad. The number on the scale for me is not really the objective. How I feel though is not the way that I want to feel. I literally turned 40 a couple of weeks ago at this point. And the problem is that I don't feel up to doing the things that I want to do. So that is a problem for me. My body hurts. My clothes don't fit the way that I want them to fit. I feel generally uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So really, I just have to get myself back in check. And for me, that means having a plan. So basically by about lunchtime, I'm home and I'm eating lunch at home every day. But if I don't have a plan in mind, I'm just kind of scrounging around and eating whatever. The problem in that really becomes portion control. Obviously, my body has changed as well because I don't feel that I'm eating an extreme amount of food by any means. But my body is obviously not able to handle the same foods and things that it was once able to handle. Last year, we opened a new business, and that meant a big change for me in my lifestyle because before that, I was doing the farmer's market every Saturday. So what that meant for me during the week was a task every single day. So I kind of have to get back to basics here. Basic foods, counting calories, getting myself back in check. And I decided, okay, I need to make a plan. And I use MyFitnessPal to plan my foods and to track them. So in there, they have some nice features that, of course, you can count the calories from whatever you eat. You just enter the food. So what I have done this week is planned out 2 different meals, and we're just going to eat the same thing for lunch every day, and we're going to eat the same thing for dinner every day because it's kind of like a muscle that you have to flex in order to get better at. So very basic here in the beginning. Lunch is going to be chicken breast, roasted vegetables, and some brown rice. Dinner is going to be one of the meals that we just really enjoy eating because it has a lot of good flavor, and that's called egg roll in a bowl. You feel like you can eat a lot of it. You get more bulk without having a lot more calories. So it's ground pork and ground beef along with shredded cabbage and carrots, and then you put sort of an Asian sauce over that. So I'm going for relatively lower carb with only the brown rice as the carb. So if I have that all planned out, then I'm able to stick underneath my calorie goal, which should put me in a calorie deficit and I should lose weight, right? Anyway, that's where I'm at. I got a grocery delivery this morning of the few things that I need to accomplish this meal plan. I will kind of keep you updated. As I said, I'm not really going to tell you my weight because it's not about the number for me, and maybe your weight is lower and you think that's crazy weight, or maybe your weight is higher and you think I would love to be there. Listen, I've been on all ends of the spectrum. At one point, I weighed over 200 pounds. This was years ago. But I've lost weight, I've gained weight. What I go on now is basically how I'm feeling. And right now I'm not feeling my best. So I'm not doing my best. I'm not active the way that I want to be active. This is a long-winded intro to tell you today we're going to meal prep. Anyway, let's just jump in and get started on the meal prep now. Okay, the meat is done for the egg roll in a bowl. We're just going to quickly mix up the sauce. I have the ingredients here on my phone. So I'm making a triple batch. That's why you'll see me doing so much. So it's going to be 6 tablespoons of soy sauce. This is, actually I think I did get regular soy sauce, but you can always use the low sodium or tamari or coconut aminos, whichever one of those you prefer. So soy sauce, hoisin. I'm going to do 3 tablespoons of hoisin since I'm doing a triple. This is a 2 tablespoon measure. Hoisin is like this, is like a delicious, almost like a barbecue sauce. It's so good. Sesame oil. It is, I'm going to do about 1 tablespoon. Rice vinegar. I do not have enough. I can't believe I don't have more of this. So I'm just going to put in what I have. It calls for 2 tablespoons per recipe. I do not have that. So I might put a little bit of white vinegar in here too, just to have a little bit more acidity. No, I'll use red wine vinegar. I just prefer the flavor of it. So we'll just use about 1.5 tablespoons more of red wine vinegar since I don't have enough rice vinegar. And then I need, this is a browning sauce, which basically you could use this. This is the one we have. It's more of a Cajun style, but you can use Kitchen Bouquet is the same thing. So I need 1 tablespoon of it. This just adds a really nice brown color and also a depth of flavor. MSG, 1 teaspoon per recipe, so I'll use about 1 tablespoon. 1, 2, 3. Onion powder, about 1 tablespoon of it. I'm going to use whatever it is I have in this jar. You could put onions in here as well. I prefer to just use onion powder just to make this more simple, not, you know, less chopping and all of that. Garlic powder, about the same, so about 1 tablespoon. I'm just going to do 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. I think that's going to be enough for me. And then ginger powder, I use about 1/2 tablespoon, so 1.5 teaspoons. Did I use all that? I think so. I also like to add this chili crisp or red chili and oil. I think they have it on here. So I'm going to add about 1 tablespoon of it. Just add 2 heaping of these. And then all this will mix up together. Now I'm going to put a little bit of water in this, probably about 1/4 cup. So all of our meat is done, our sauce is done. We're going to start to assemble this. So this is going to all go into the pan, the meat and the sauce at this point, and then we'll start to add the cabbage and cook it down in the pan. Okay, I added all the meat back to the pan, and now I'm going to pour in the sauce. This is almost done. All we have to do is add in the bags of the cabbage mix and start to steam it down. So we may not be able to add it all at one time, but we can start to steam it down. It'll break down. I have 3 bags here since I'm doing 3 recipes. We'll just add the first one, mix it through with the meat, and you'll see that it really starts to shrink down pretty quickly. Okay, I'm going to put one more bag in at the same time. So I do have room for one more. I'm going to put a lid on this and let it cook for about 3 or 4 minutes and then continue stirring it. Okay, so this is done, and I just wanted to show you how it cooks down. You don't want to overdo this because you still have to heat it up again. So the cabbage in here is still a little bit crisp, and it will continue to cook as we, reheat this throughout the rest of the week. So don't overdo it. Now this is 3 bags of cabbage mix. You see how well it cooks down in here. I do have a nice full pot of this, so I'm just going to put this to the side and let it start to cool down. And then we will cook the chicken. This is the last thing that we have left for this meal prep. So I'm actually going to cook the chicken outside on the Blackstone, so we'll get started on that next. We're out here at the Blackstone now. I'm just going to put a little bit of oil down before I put my chicken on. I've got it nice and hot. This is just definitely the fastest and most efficient way to cook all this chicken. So I have the chicken in a marinade of, I just use the Dale's reduced sodium, like pourable marinade. And then I put a little bit of this Kinder's in there as well. I'm going to put some more of this Kinder's on top once I put it onto the griddle here. So I'm basically just going to dump it all on. Basically just going to dump it all on and spread it out and let it cook. Put a little bit more seasoning on, and then we'll give it about 5 or 6 minutes and then start to flip it. Chicken is all cooked up, so I'm going to take it off, and this part's done. Then we can go inside and portion up all of our meals. Okay, we're ready to portion this out now. So for the chicken and roasted vegetables and rice, I'm weighing out the chicken, and I'm doing 3 ounces of chicken. So I tiered my scale, that way it accounts for the bowl on here. Zeroed it out. And we're going to put 3 ounces of chicken into each bowl. I'm going to do as many of these as I have chicken, basically. So I'm just going to start there, and I'll just portion them out. Now, I did not get as many, I did not get as many containers as I thought I did. I thought I was getting 20 containers. No, I was getting 10 pieces each. So that means bowl and lid. So I actually only got 10 containers, but that's okay. I have other containers that I can use, definitely can use. So for my recipe for these, when I add 3 ounces of chicken and half a cup of brown rice and 1 cup of roasted vegetables, it's, I believe it was 420 calories. Yeah, 421 calories is the way that it calculated it in MyFitnessPal. So, that's what I'm going to be doing these as. The dinner meal, which is the egg roll in a bowl, it has a little bit more calories, more like 450 calories, I think. What was the dinner meal? 480 calories. So with those 2 meals plus 2 of those protein shakes per day, like along with my coffee, then I'm still at about 1,200 calories per day. A little under, actually. I have a pretty good bit of chicken here, actually. So I may end up just saving some of this chicken to the side because I don't think that Alan is going to eat these for lunch every day. I don't know. He might. I mean, what do I know? He generally, though, has alternate plans for lunch. So if I don't eat these in the next 4 to 5 days, I'll just pop them in the freezer, whatever's left of them. And that way, I can just take one out of the freezer and eat it, that way. But I don't want them to spoil, of course, after doing all this work. You want it to stay good. So I may end up, we'll see how many we eat over the next 3 to 4 days. And then if I need to, I can freeze what's left. Actually, look at this. This is perfect. Wow. Perfect. This was actually 3.3. But that's okay. Okay, so the scale can go away now because I'm not weighing the rest of these ingredients. I'm going to just measure them. I have a half cup measure here. I don't believe I have 10 servings of rice. I think I made 8 servings. How many servings of rice did I make? I can't remember. We'll see what we get. I don't mind if all these ingredients are mixed together, so I'm not like, you can get these kind of meal prep trays that are divided. Guys. Yeah, they have the ones with compartments, but I'm not that concerned about the ingredients being separated. But if you are, get the ones with compartments, and you can put the rice in the other compartment. This rice in the Instant Pot cooked perfectly. Perfectly. What I need to do is write down how I did it. That way I actually remember it. But I probably will still be Googling it the next time I need to cook brown rice. Actually, I need to be right on the money with the rice as well. Wow. So good. Yeah, look at this. Barely any rice left. Okay, now for these vegetables, I'm just going to have to eyeball it because I'm just going to use my hand here because I'm not exactly sure. And then I can go back and put the rest, split the rest among all of this. For the recipe that I made, I just guesstimated on the vegetables because it's hard to know exactly what you're getting there. Okay, that looks great. Maybe a little bit more in this one. Okay. Chicken meal is done. I will be eating one of these for lunch, so thankfully we have it done in time for lunch. Throw some lids on these. They will be good to go. These containers are reusable, so what I do, I just put it straight into the dishwasher as soon as I'm done eating and just wash them on the top rack. The great thing about having a meal prep, in my opinion, is all the time you save. Also, mess. Man, when you're not cooking every single day and making a mess continually, it's so nice. You literally have like hours in your day to spare when you don't have to think about food so much. It's incredible. So that is one great thing about having either a meal prep like this where you literally have the foods done, or you take a big day and you meal prep meals, you know, to put in the freezer and stuff like that. It just saves you so much time. It's actually insane. And brain. Your brain is not constantly thinking about what's for dinner. I need to thaw this. I need to prep this. I need to do that. I need to stop at this certain time so that I can get dinner going and all of that. You have so much more time for whatever it is that you want to have time for, which is what I love. Okay, the last thing is the egg roll in a bowl. Let's get it going. So I should get 9 servings out of that egg roll in a bowl, and let's see what we get. I'm just going to start dividing this among all these containers. This is a more calorie dense meal because of the meat, so much more meat in there, and it's not as lean of meat as the chicken, of course, since it's ground pork and ground beef. I kind of scoop from the bottom when I do this because there is a little bit of sauce and juice down at the bottom, so I try to scoop from down there to keep everything moist. So I'm just starting with 2 scoops, and then I'll go back and add, because like I said, I've measured out the ingredients and the calories that I want, and I should have 9 servings out of the amount of ingredients that I used here. This has been a very productive day of meal prep. So I'm very excited about this. Do I have lids for anything? I'll have to find one of my lids. Here we go with dogs. That is going to be it for me today, you guys. I hope you have enjoyed today's meal prep. I am going to enjoy one of these chicken meals for my lunch today, and then you know what's for dinner too. You know what I'm going to be eating for the rest of this week. So I hope you have enjoyed today's meal prep. Maybe it inspired you to do something similar for yourself. Anyway, I hope to see you back here again real soon.